Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Why the hell would Johnny try to practically force Chanel into watching among the scariest movies on this planet, The Exorcist? I want to just sit there and reiterate again that as men, we like to sit there and think that we're invincible. Most of us like to sit there and think that we're invincible, that we're not scared of anything, and, we can pretty much handle everything. Now, the whole, not scared of anything, I would like to sit there and believe that myself. But I'm going to be honest, there are certain things in this world that I'm not afraid to admit that, definitely not a fan of. In movies and stuff about possessions and exorcism and stuff like that, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that definitely creeps me the hell out. But I also like being creeped out. Like, I grew up on horror movies. So I love being scared. I love horror movies. I love just being scared in general. So it's kind of a, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. I feel like there's another euphemism for that, and I can't find it right now, but, it's kind of good and bad. It's kind of good and bad in ways. It's the best way I can sit there and describe it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, Johnny, first of all, this girl literally let you know. Literally let you know. That doesn't sound right. She let you know that, she is kind of afraid of those type of movies. And your bright idea was, oh, you can come over, you can hug me and everything like that. She starts watching this movie and she's like, nope, we can't do this. No, this movie is freaking me out. And then she's like, I don't think that you should make this movie. And, I don't know who brought it up, but the fact of the matter is, Johnny knows that John does not want him to make this movie, that he's not comfortable with him making this movie. But Johnny's all like, oh, he'll come around, it'll be fine, I'm still going to do it anyway. It's just like, how you going to sit there and ask him for money, knowing that he doesn't feel comfortable you making a movie, you're just like, oh, he'll come around. And even if he decides to not invest in the movie, I guess he didn't really sit there. No, I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember if he actually told him the full history of it. But the point is, it makes your granddad feel uneasy about something that happened. And your idea is just, screw it. I don't really care about that. I mean, I do, but I care more about making this movie and being famous. So he pretty much is like, I'm gonna sit there and do it anyway. Like, come on, let's just watch the rest of the movie. You can squeeze my hand to get through a little bit more of the movie. He's like, I said squeeze my hand. I didn't sit there and say break it. Bro, what is wrong with you? I understand she was uncomfortable. You're just like, no, let's just keep watching it. Are you serious? It gets so bad that he's like, all right, fine. We'll fast forward to the end. They fast forward to the end, and if you watch the movie, you know how it ends. She pretty much just like, how is that actually like a good ending? Like, how's that a happy ending? I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who didn't watch it. I've only heard about it because I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch it. I did not watch it. And, I love to sit there and say that I'll plan on watching it one day. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. But, I'm not going to lie, it really creeps me out. But at the same time, I kind of want to watch it because it creeps me out. I don't know. But yeah, she was like, yo, how's that a good ending? Like, X, Y, and Z happen. And he's just like, yep. He basically is like, you know what? I'm going to sit there and kind of tweak it. I'm going to make her possession kind of like center stage. Like, he wants to make the movie more about that than about Sammy's life. You know, I'm not going to lie. I guess it is perfect timing of them doing this storyline. You know, Halloween being right around the corner. So, makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Ben and Sierra, I was just like, ugh. I mean, I think people who've been watching my reviews for a while know how I feel about Sierra and Ben. So I'm not gonna sit there and just kind of go over it again, because everyone knows. But they do get into something that's actually important. Like, whoa. You tell me you guys aren't just going to be like all up in each other's faces, constantly kissing and, you know, doing the devil's tango? That's kind of fitting. But, you know, Ben's still thinking about what the tour guide said as far as, like, you know, his past and how... I'm not going to lie, I don't remember what she said, but it was something that bothered him about his past. And, you know, it bothers him because, you know, that stuff is still in his mind. You know, all the people he killed and hurt, the families and everything like that, that's still weighing heavily on him. You know, Sierra tries to cheer him up and be like, hey, listen, you've worked hard, you overcome a lot of stuff, you know, yeah, you can't erase it, but you can always, you always think they're trying to strive to be a better person, and that has to count for something, you know, which is true to a certain extent. I mean, let's be honest, it really depends on what you did. It's kind of up in the air, kind of a toss-up, but, it gets to the heart of the matter about Ben and why he doesn't, you know, why he was so hesitant about having a baby with Sierra. It wasn't, the financial stuff, the privacy, the not really spending a lot of time with Sierra. He just got her back. All that stuff is true. But what it really comes down to is the fact that he doesn't want to pass on any of his genes as far as, like, you know, if it's a mental illness or whatever that made him do what he did. He doesn't want to pass that on to his child. You know, because it's like, it's a possibility. And Sierra's like, yeah, it's a possibility, and I understand that. You know, she asked him, you know, flat out, is this the reason why you don't have a child? And he says yes. But the question is, with Sierra is just like, are you going to feel like that for the rest of your life? Now, I'm kind of standing there like, well, how could he answer that? Like, how could he really answer that? How could he sit there and say, yeah, this is how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life? When every day that you wake up in some form or way, you are constantly changing and evolving. Or devolving. But the point is, you're constantly changing. So yeah, he may sit there and feel like, he may feel like that for about, like, I don't know, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, 6 months. But he can't sit there and just answer that question like, yep, for the rest of my life, this is actually how I'm going to feel. I have really bad killer genes. You know, I actually heard, and I can't believe I'm sitting there saying this, I've actually heard that there is, and I don't know if this is true, of this thing called the serial killer gene. Yeah, I actually got this from Riverdale, and found out there's a possibility that it's actually true. But, yeah. And so I wonder, with him not wanting to have a child, and her wanting a child, is this going to be something that's going to wind up breaking them up? I don't know. I don't know. They did this whole thing about getting them back together, but, you know, it could be interesting. At least they won't be all, like, smothering each other all the time, so I'm for it. when Abe and Paulina go to, I guess, Roman's bar, they see Kayla and Steve. Now they're talking about Doug and Julie and stuff like that, and they see those two, so they invite them to join for dinner and stuff like that, and all hanging out and getting to know Paulina and laughing and joking and stuff like that. Somewhere along the lines, they tell Paulina that Marlena was possessed. And she practically starts choking on the food or her drink like, I'm sorry, what? Now apparently Steve and Kayla wasn't in Salem during that time, but Abe was, and Abe was like, yo, I pretty much lived it. Like, it's real. Like, that really happened. And, you know, Paulina was like, you know, she was under the impression that, you know, all this stuff just happens in the movies and stuff like that. And I'm trying not to get into this conversation, but again, the reason why it creeps me out so much is because it's something that's based off of true stories. Now, granted, I've never personally seen it. I don't think I ever want to see it as far as a real life possession or whatever, but you know, she was under the impression that this stuff only happened in the movies, and now she's like, what? But with that being said, she goes to use the restroom, and Abe pretty much is like, I'm going to propose to Marlena. I'm gonna propose to Paulina. I'm gonna propose to her. And granted, this kind of took me by surprise a little bit. I mean, yeah, Paulina wasn't there thinking about it. Actually, to tell you the truth, Paulina pretty much only brought that up because she was there trying to cover up from her, you know, talking to the twins, kind of revealing her secret. But now, it's a reality, and Abe was like, yeah, I want to do it, and they congratulate him and everything like that. And so at this point, Abe is not there trying to get, you know, Chanel's blessing and everything like that, but she's not answering the phone. So, yeah, they know, you know, it's weird. You know, I'm going to sit there and ask kind of a personal question a little bit, somewhat of a personal question. And I'm probably going to do this on my GH reviews too, if I remember. But, do you think a year is too, short, or do you think it's long enough? Like, what do you think is the proper, like, how long should you actually be with someone before you propose to them, before you decide that you want to get married? I guess it's somewhat of a personal question. I was going to change it around, but I was like, I don't know if people really want to kind of divulge that information. But, yeah, it's just a question. Paulina comes back, and they kind of cover it up, and they start laughing, and, you know, whatever. Now, Julie is concerned with Doug, and Eli gets there. Now, the one thing that Julie says is that when she was sitting there talking to Marlena, is that she felt like there was something off, like she wasn't herself, you know. And when they go and they talk to Doug, when they go in the room to sit with Doug or whatever, he kind of wakes up. He says a couple of things, you know, besides the fact that Julie was sitting there telling Eli, that, you know, the sentence that Doug said, it went out of me and it went into her. And, you know, Doug wakes up a little bit, but he's muttering. He's not really making a lot of sense. But one of the things he kept asking for, or one of the things he kept saying was Marlena. They thought, you know, at this point, they call Marlena and tell her to come down to the hospital. Now, oh my goodness, this scene, God, there was some points that, I'm not gonna lie, kind of creeped me out. I'm gonna be honest, this whole damn storyline creeps me out, if I'm just gonna be honest, but there's a point where Marlena's sitting there talking to John, and John is sitting there talking about the movie, and, you know, he brings up things like, oh, well, you know, at first, Marlena seemed like she was kind of pissed off at him because, you know, John was like, oh, I lied to her and told her it wasn't real, the possession and everything like that, but then I told him I told her that it was the truth and everything like that, and our love kind of conquered everything, and it defeated him, defeated Satan or whatever. And you can just tell every time he talks about like love and defeating him, and he doesn't want to deal with it or whatever. You can tell that like there's just stuff that that her being possessed is just like reacting to. There's one point where I think John says something like he wasn't really a priest. And Marlena says something like, or possessed Marlena says something like, well, you could have fooled me or whatever. But the most alarming part is when John, even before John got home, possessed Marlena was like they going through some of John's stuff, like the collar, and she touched the Bible, and like it had a reaction. I don't know if it burnt her, whatever, but that's when John came in, and John brought out the Bible. And I'm not gonna lie, it gave me kind of chills with her reaction, what she said. I'm not gonna repeat it, but she had a reaction. Let's put it this way. And John was like, whoa, what's going on? Of course, she covered, was like, oh, I'm just kind of upset, or I'm just, my mind is somewhere else. She made up some sort of excuse. That's when she got the call about that's when she got the call about Doug, and how Doug was sitting there talking, saying stuff about Marlena. And, at this point, possessed Marlena goes to the hospital to take care of Doug. So she goes down there, and she talks to Julie and Eli. And you can tell, the thing is, Julie, I think on a normal basis, she would have been able to tell that they're, like, when she's talking to Marlena, like, she's not all really there. She doesn't really seem, like, she seems like she's somewhat disinterested. But Julie's so frantic and so worried about Doug that she talks to Marlena, and you can tell there's something off. But, Marlena's like, alright, listen, I'll talk to him, I'll see what's going on or whatever. And as Julie starts to follow her, because Julie's like, alright, I want to go tell her, I want to make sure everything is good. Marlena's like, I think it'd be best if we just wait out here. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little kind of surprised. Because when Marlena was sitting there talking to Doug the first time, after a while, Julie was like, yo, this is taking, like, way too long. Like, it's making me feel uncomfortable. And she had no problem busting in during the session, which Kayla was like, it's not a good idea. So I'm so surprised that she would just, like, easily agree to just staying outside and waiting for Marlena to sit there and take a look at Doug. Anyway, Marlena gets in that room, looks at Doug. Not gonna lie, I don't remember exactly what she said, because, to be kind of honest, I was kind of getting freaked out about her damn eyes. It's weird, because I've seen, like, the actress who plays Marlena, she always, like, does these little funny things or whatever, like Doug and the eyes and stuff like that, and when you see it in context like that, it's like, oh, okay, that's so funny or whatever, but then when you watch it, you're just like, this is a soap opera, and it's supposed to be cheesy, and yet, this is kind of creeping me out, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, it looks like, towards the end of the episode, that possessed Marlene is going to sit there and take care of Doug. Which, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that's going to be true. I feel like at some point, somebody's going to come in there and interrupt it. Either Trip, most likely Trip, or Julie is just going to just had enough and decide to go in there. But I guess we'll find out on Monday. This is interesting. This is pretty interesting. I'm just sitting there just thinking about this whole possession and everything like that, and whenever they do these storylines, or any storyline in general, there's times where they'll leave certain things out. They'll leave politics out. They'll leave religion out. And I think has a lot to do with, certain people and their religion and different religions and stuff like that. And sometimes there's people that, well, don't believe in religion. They don't, you know, they're, I'm not gonna lie, I'm at a loss for words with, you know, when somebody doesn't believe, like, when they don't believe in anything. But, you know, there are people that that don't believe in anything. And so, I'm always surprised whenever they sit there and talk about religion, or when they start bringing any religion up, because it's like, you know, it's now everyone's offended about everything, and, you know, you can't talk about anything at this point. So, I'm really surprised they're actually bringing the storyline in. But at the same time, I know some people don't like it, but I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's actually about it. I also feel like I probably missed a couple of things. I know I did, or at least I feel like I did. But before I go, and I've asked this on my General Hospital review, so I'm gonna ask it on this review. Besides Days of Our Lives, what other soap opera do you watch? What other soap operas do you watch? Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful. The reason why I'm asking that is I've been contemplating about doing, well, one, Y&R, and two, Bold and the Beautiful. Now, I've been hesitant about doing that for a while because of the copyright shock that I had. But then I was there talking to DC Soap Sanctuary. And he was basically like, it doesn't necessarily have to do with just the, you know, the show, whatever that you're talking about. It could be the background music. Now, I do use a lot of different background music, and I'm thinking that might have been it, because for a good minute, I was there doing Bold and the Beautiful reviews, and I only got a strike on one of them. Only got a strike on one of them. So, you know, even though I obviously don't want to get another strike on my channel, there is a woman named, I can't remember her name, but she also does reviews on, I think her name is, Jessica or something, I think. She used to go by another name called, CDL, and she does a lot of Bold and Beautiful reviews. And I haven't seen her have one problem. And I'm just like, alright, well, why the hell did I get striked down? So I'm sitting there thinking maybe that might be the reason. And with that being said, you know, I might, you know, I'm considering, or just trying to be ambitious or whatever, and trying to do all four, which, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie, it kind of seems impossible. But, that's what I want to know. What does everyone else watch besides Days of Our Lives? Do you watch, well, if you watch GH, I do reviews on GH, but do you watch Bold and the Beautiful? Do you watch, Young and the Restless? Write it down in the comment section below, because I kind of want to sit there and just kind of gauge it and see, you know, what people are watching, and to kind of help me focus on, you know, which one I should maybe focus on more if I can't do both of them. You know, stuff like that. I feel like there's something else, but I can't think of what it is. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Let me know how long do you think that someone should wait before they get married. And also, what other soap operas do you watch? Do y'all watch? You know, besides Days. With that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a great and amazing weekend. I truly appreciate all the support. I cannot sit there and stress that enough. The support, the comments, and just watching my videos, and you know, give them a like and stuff like that, you know. Really do appreciate that, so thank you. Have a great weekend. You know, all this possession stuff. I think I'm gonna watch Stargirl now. Yeah, I think it's really time to. I was gonna sit there and say I'm gonna watch Sabrina, but like Sabrina is also kind of dark. And you know, the sad thing is that as dark as Sabrina is, it still doesn't creep me out as much as this is right now. So I'm gonna watch some Stargirl, and yeah, have a great weekend. See you in the next video.